At long last, the 49ers got him. Eric Kendricks, veteran linebacker, former All-Pro, has signed with San Francisco. And perhaps this can be a nice ride off into the sunset for Kendricks, who's 33 years old, but last we saw him still playing productive football, and the 49ers have an obvious need at that linebacker position. Kendricks was with the Dallas Cowboys in 2024. 138 tackles was actually the second highest total of his career, and the 3 forced fumbles that he generated, that was a career high for Dallas. Remember that Kendricks had committed to sign with the 49ers last year, but before he actually put pen to paper on the contract, he decided to go with the Cowboys instead because they would offer a more featured role for him. Middle linebacker, the mic with the radio in his helmet. So the 49ers had to go to their backup plan instead. Devondre Campbell, who infamously quit on the team and walked off the field against the Rams. That all did not go well for the 49ers. However, no bridges with Kendricks were burned, and now Eric, who's from Clovis, he's from that Fresno area, went to Hoover High School. It seems that he's been waiting to sign with a team so that he doesn't have to play all 5 months of football, and that makes sense for somebody who's 33 years old. Eric Kendricks has seen an opportunity in San Francisco, and he has decided to join Robert Saleh and company. Much better defensive leadership for the 49ers this year than last year. I think that's also an appeal for Eric Kendricks. Now, in his prime with the Minnesota Vikings, back when Kendricks was an All-Pro in 2024, he broke up 13 passes. Or in 2019, he broke up. Now, back in his prime with the Minnesota Vikings, when he was an All-Pro in 2019, Eric Kendricks broke up 13 passes. He only broke up 3 passes for the Cowboys last year. He gave up a passer rating of 110.8 into his coverage, which obviously isn't good, but everything must be analyzed in context. And the 49ers' current starting weak side linebacker, D. Winters, has given up a passer rating of 115.1, including 5 touchdown passes into his coverage this year. Linebacker has not been a point of strength for the 49ers after Fred Warner went down. Tatum Bethune, who is Warner's direct replacement, is also currently hurt with a high ankle sprain. Curtis Robinson made his first career start for the 49ers on Monday night against the Carolina Panthers, but he missed a team-high 3 tackles. So obviously the 49ers need at least depth at this linebacker position. But I think they could also potentially use a starter, and when you look at Eric Kendricks, he has started at both the will and the mic over the course of his career. Was able to play that middle linebacker spot for the Cowboys. It probably will take him some time to pick up the 49ers playbook so that he can do that at the level that Robert Saleh needs him to do, but he can fly around at weak side linebacker perhaps as soon as something following the bye week for San Francisco. This is a signing to the practice squad. Stone Blanton, the rookie, was released off the practice squad to make room for Eric Kendricks. And I'm sure the 49ers can take this on a week-by-week basis moving forward. Tatum Bethune will probably be back in a few weeks, but that's not close yet. And right now they're dealing with Robinson and D. Winters at the mic and the will spots. Nick Martin not ready to assume one of the mic or the will spots for the 49ers. If he does get time, it will be like the game against Arizona where he saw 14 snaps at the third linebacker position, the Sam linebacker position, but he still is too raw to count on some of those every down positions. Somebody like Eric Kendricks has one last burst left in his career. He was extremely fast coming out of UCLA, 4'6" linebacker. Fred Warner like speed for Eric Kendricks. If he's got one last burst, and he did show some ability with the Dallas Cowboys last year, he can concentrate it into these final 2 months of the season for the 49ers, who currently have the number 25 defense by EPA. But whenever we've talked to Robert Saleh, he has promised continued improvement on that side of the ball. And I think that the game on Monday night was an illustration of delivery on that promise. The 49ers delivered plus 10.9 expected points on defense. It was by far their best performance of the season. The rush and the coverage are mixing together cohesively now, perhaps for the first time since Nick Bosa and Fred Warner both got hurt. Maybe that game against Atlanta when the 49ers won, what was that, week 6 against the Falcons? Yeah, they were good defensively there, but they were like +2 or +3 EPA. +10 against the Carolina Panthers offense that had just come off of 448 passing yards from Bryce Young and weekly awards won because of all the production against the Atlanta Falcons. For the 49ers to stonewall that Carolina team with the defensive cast that they have, I think that it could be viewed as a sign that perhaps Robert Saleh's defense, as promised, is starting to turn a bit of a corner. I don't think anybody expects this to be a top 10 unit, but I think general improvement is a reasonable goal for the 49ers, and somebody like Eric Kendricks can come in and be a cherry on top for a San Francisco team making a serious playoff push. The 49ers have about an 89% probability to make the postseason. They're at 8-4 right now, and the weakness of this defense has actually been in the back seven, especially in the middle, at linebacker without Warner and at safety. They solved a lot about the safety issues with how they played, mixing rushing coverage against the Panthers. Ji'Ayir Brown is the NFC's Defensive Player of the Week. He had 2 interceptions. In fact, the 49ers had a 17-game stretch up until 10 days ago when they played the Arizona Cardinals. They had only 1 interception over a 17-game stretch. They now have 4 interceptions over their past 2 games, which is a surefire sign that things are trending in the right direction, and now they will potentially have a chance to bring things even further together with this veteran addition to their practice squad who can be called up and then maybe even promoted to the 53-man roster. So we'll see what Kendricks has in the tank to close this 2025 season. Highly doubt that we'll see him in Cleveland, but this is a longer-term look for the 49ers as November turns into December. But first, they do have to play the Browns. The Browns are going to be quarterbacked by Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, the son of Deion Sanders. Kyle Shanahan's the son of Mike Shanahan. In 1994, Deion Sanders was on the 49ers when Mike Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. Kyle said that he wore a Deion Sanders 94 49ers jersey for 6 months straight, but then unfortunately it got stolen.
It is weird just because he was my hero growing up. He was probably the #1 player just in terms of being a true fan of. I always talk about how he got his jersey in '94 and wore it for about 6 months straight until someone jacked it from me. I'm still looking for that guy. But no, he was such a unique player. He was just different than everyone, his talent and everything. And now to watch him be a coach and to watch him raise, I think he's got 3 boys, but to watch the 2 boys in sports has been really cool to watch. And I know my wife, my daughter, they're huge Colorado fans too, and so I get to hear about Buffaloes all the time.
Anyway, some cool family connection there. We'll see how Shedeur plays against this 49ers defense, which did have that resurgent performance against the Carolina Panthers on Monday night. It's going to be a short week for the 49ers. There's going to be colder weather. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, here in Tennessee, so I'm not all that far from Cleveland. It is a little crisp and chilly here. Cleveland's going to be a whole different beast, though. When we head to Cleveland, we're not going to have blue skies, beautiful sunsets. We're probably going to have some precipitation in the air. It's going to be close to freezing in Cleveland, and the 49ers are going to have to be ready for the elements. That includes Brock Purdy, 49ers quarterback, who today spoke at the lectern. Purdy broke down his 3 interceptions from the game against the Panthers. Let's have a listen to that.
The pick to Ricky was on the run. Like, how can I throw the ball better on the run or set my feet quick and drive the ball? And I left the ball up high and he got it. The one to JJ, that one is just strictly just throw the ball. You know, I was laying it to a spot where he can go get it, but he had the guy beat, and you know, I can't take an extra hitch and throw the ball like that. I gotta put it on him. He won right away. And then the one to Ricky was I took a extra hitch. I should have hitched and thrown it right away and anticipated better. And that one was just a matter of being late. So that's what I saw in the film. I mean, it's just, you know, reps and playing football again and getting back into it. So, but there's also some good plays that I've made too. So like, I can't just say because I threw 3 picks in one half, my timing and everything's off. It's give or take with all that. So for me, it's you know, keep practicing, keep playing, and try to be real about it, not try to have any more excuses.
I'll maintain what I said after the game and what I said the day after. I think the 49ers, Shanahan and Purdy, have to philosophically lock in. And that means that there needs to be an emphasis on hogging the ball. And that emphasis on hogging the ball must include a concerted focus on high percentage throws. You heard Purdy talk about the second interception to Ricky Pearsall on the run. Well, anything on the run is not going to be a high percentage throw. That was high degree of difficulty, and it ended up biting the 49ers. You can talk all you want and speculate all you want about the toe injury and how it might have affected that release from Brock Purdy. Bottom line is, healthy toe or not, he was sprinting straight forward in the pocket. The easy degree of difficulty option would have been George Kittle in front of him, or a run for a first down. The highest degree of difficulty on the play, the least likely avenue to hog the ball was trying to throw it over the top to Ricky Pearsall. That's what Brock Purdy chose, and it obviously hurt the 49ers, but they were not burned because of it, because of that defense. The defense was able to give the 49ers stop after stop after stop after those 3 interceptions. Myles Garrett is going to be the opponent in Cleveland. A very good Browns defense. The number 1 run stop and number 1 pass rush win rate defensive line for Cleveland. Probably the best front the 49ers have played this year. I mean, Myles Garrett's somebody who's capable of notching 5 sacks per game. And the 49ers are going to have to play this one downhill to make sure that Garrett is disinterested by that fourth quarter. You can't have him pinning his ears back, because that's when a highly ranked 49ers offensive line, they've been playing really well, that's when they can get into trouble. Speaking of D-lines, though, the 49ers D-line, bad news for them. Sam Okwanu's got a high ankle sprain. He's going to miss a few weeks, so yet another blow for the 49ers D-line. Robert Beal Jr. was back out at practice today, so he had missed last week with a concussion. He'll swap in for Okwanu. We'll see how else the 49ers might maneuver with his D-line, but it looks like they're just going to go with the unit they have in-house. They still have William Bradley King down on the practice squad as a bigger D-end if they want to call him up into the rotation against the Cleveland Browns. We talk so much about building an efficient 49ers football team within the context of the salary cap and using efficient principles. Well, why don't you make sure that your phone plan is as efficient as possible? Mint has reimagined the game. This is cutting edge stuff. The nation's largest 5G network, and there is unlimited talk and text on that massive network. You also don't have to go into a store. You don't have to deal with salespeople. This is all online. Like I'm saying, revolutionary in the mobile game. Free calling to Mexico, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Plus, and this one's big for me, mobile hotspot is included. 10 gigabytes on the unlimited plan. So whenever I'm traveling a lot, I'm working from everywhere. I've got my laptop with me. We've got to make these 49ers updates, have to write all these articles. That travel means I need a hotspot. 10 gigabytes, that's nice. And Mint provides that with their unlimited package. Mint provides 5G coverage to 98% of Americans and 4G LTE coverage to 99% of Americans. Mint introduced the concept of bulk buying to the wireless space. The more months you buy upfront, the more you save. So you can buy plans in 3, 6, 9, or 12-month durations. You can also choose the size of your plan, which is big. If you use less, you spend less. If you use more, you spend more. Right now, all unlimited plans are 50% off. So scan the QR code or click on the link below to access Mint's best offer of the year. I mentioned Ji'Ayir Brown earlier. Congratulations to him, NFC Defensive Player of the Week. It's some neat intel from Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh on Ji'Ayir Brown.
I don't know about breakthrough or anything like that. I do know what's been great is he does get better every week. And this goes back to training camp. You know, he missed some time during OTAs with the injury, comes in training camp, kind of gets bad news that he was going to be that he wasn't going to start, but we carved out a role for him so he could stay involved. And whether he liked it or not, you couldn't tell. Attacked the heck out of it. Did everything that we asked and really helped everybody around him. Was even helping the young kid at safety, Siegel, trying to get him squared away. And when he was given another opportunity to go back at safety, he's improved every single week. Definitely wanting to make sure that he can slam the door and make sure that he leaves no doubt that he's a safety. So, long story short, I still think he's going to continue improving. You know, the biggest thing I would take away from the game for him last week is I felt like he was playing football, not football. And you know, I always tell players, you know, you can be a football player and do exactly what the book tells you to do, but you're the one out there shooting bullets. You're the one that's playing football. And like the second interception was just him playing football. If he did it by the book, he wouldn't have made that play. And so he's improving big time with regard to understanding the game and being more of a football player.
By the book, what was he supposed to be doing?
Supposed to be in the deep middle.
Coach, if he is out of position, trying to anticipate something, are you having a talk with him? Like, what? It seems like a pretty.
There's balance, you know. To whom much is given, much is required, right? You know, if you study enough tape, you know, we talk about in a game, if you say there's 60 plays, there might be 3 or 4 times in a game where you just know what that play is going to be. You know it. And you've got to have the confidence through film study and the confidence in one another, confidence in your teammates and coaches, and we got to have confidence in our players that when they know, they go take that shot. Because those are the plays when you look at a game, it's like, oh man, he had 2 interceptions, he had a TFL. Well, those were the I knew plays. And I think that's what he did a great job of on Monday night, taking advantage of those opportunities.
Ji'Ayir was actually demoted from a starting safety position earlier this year, but he impressed the 49ers so much in his demoted role, in his reduced position as the 49ers' big nickel, that they said, we got to give this guy another shot at safety, and he's stuck ever since. So that's just a testament to perseverance. Good for Ji'Ayir Brown. He's been able to port some of the anticipation that led to a lot of interceptions in college, 10 over his final 2 seasons at Penn State. He's been able to port that into big-time success at the NFL level. Also, this is good news for the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan said that Yetur Gross-Matos will have a chance to return after the bye week. Yetur is dealing with a hamstring and with a knee issue. He is the 49ers' best interior pass rusher, at least he was until they traded for Keon White. But Yetur got off to a really good start this season, even though he played rather limited snaps. That could really, really help this 49ers defensive line. So Yetur maybe back after the 49ers play the Cleveland Browns. They have the bye after that. Then they host the Tennessee Titans. That could be a nice boost for the 49ers defense. And of course, Eric Kendricks might be a nice boost for the 49ers defense as well. So we're going to keep a very, very close eye on this. Fascinating stuff. 49ers gearing up for that late season push. I think the time is now. They're 8-4. They've needed some help at the linebacker position. It's only growing more acute with time, and they bring things full circle. Kendricks almost signed with them last year. Instead, Devondre Campbell did. I know that's a name that many people now don't want to hear mentioned. Well, now Kendricks is in the fold. The Clovis native is now in the Bay Area, and we'll see how he can help the 49ers. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to everybody soon.
My passion on game day is because of when Ji'Ayir makes the play he makes on the second interception. And the amount of work that he put in for that one moment, right? Like there's people look at it as one play, but there's probably 6 hours dedicated to that one moment, and it happened. And so the joy you're seeing on the field is for him, and the amount of work that that he went through, and the amount of trial and error that he had to go through. And there was actually a couple plays in the game where he was that close, and it was like, just keep doing what you're doing, it's going to happen. So it's more jubilation for him than anything else, and for the player when they're having success. And so you just can't, for me, I just can't help but let that out. And so whether it affects the guys, I have no idea, because I know that for them, they're already motivated and inspired to do the best they can. And shoot, Kyle already does an unbelievable job with his messaging. So I don't know, I don't think they need it from me. It's just my personal deal.